Hi guys, and welcome to a new episode of The Experience Show with Leah-Brooklyn and friends. Thank you for all of the love so far. Please like and subscribe if you're enjoying the show. Today's guest I am absolutely buzzing about. We've been trying to get on the show for so long. We've been trying to make this happen for so long. So it's about freaking time that I am with Louise Mowles. Hey. The crowd goes wild.
Leah, thank you so much for having me.
You're finally on the fluffy chairs.
Covers. I know, I'm dead
Thank
excited. God. I'm so nervous. It feels, I'm not going to lie, I'm straight in. I feel so weird. I feel so nervous right now, but I'm so happy to be with you. I'm so happy to see you. It's so good.
This is like the podcast queen, the Scheme Dreams queen.
No, it's not.
You're the whole reason that I'm even doing my podcast again.
Well, do you know what? Scheme Dreams, it's funny, like, I don't think I'm good at doing stuff. I just do loads and loads of things because then I think it will give people who are actually good at doing it the encouragement to do it, you know? Because if you see me doing it and then people that are actually really good at it and got genuine skills and natural talents, they'll be like, well, she can do that, I can do that. So that was the whole purpose behind it. So I'm glad that you said that because that's the whole point. But podcasting definitely is not what I want to be doing. I think it's just like a big learning curve for me. Mm-hmm. But I can't wait to be getting back and doing it and stuff like that. A couple more months of rest for me and then Scheme Dreams will be back up and running, which I am buzzing about. But anyway, that's
I'm buzzing. I've basically got your comeback for now because we haven't had a wee podcast from you for a while. You're coming back better than ever.
Well, I had a couple of people reach out to me and I wanted to make sure that yours was the first that I was coming back on. So do you know what I mean? So after, I'm so happy to be here. I've been waiting for it like actual ages and ages and ages. And now that we're doing yours, I tick the list for a couple more coming up for the next couple of weeks and months.
I'm glad to hear it
I'm
because
excited.
Your Scheme Dreams podcast is so good, so inspiring to so many people. And you asked me to come on and I was nervous to come on. Like I hadn't been on a podcast in ages. And I had my own podcast years ago with Paul. And like it just inspired me to do it again because I was like, I really love this. I have so much to share and I'm ready to share it again because like, you know, I had to take a few years to be like, keep myself to myself and be on my own journey, especially like spiritual healing work. It's not easy. So you need to have like your time of being introverted and doing your thing. And yeah, I'm just like glad to be back, but it's like was inspired by you. So
well, that makes me so happy, and it makes me happy to know that as well because I feel like when you are on the spiritual journey, like when you're awakening at your conscious level, when you first go through that, like when we first met each other, it's so all you can do is talk about it. It's like everybody needs to know, they have to know, like you want to tell everybody. And it's like you go through a period of that for so long. Obviously everybody's different, and then you do retreat, like you need to like totally go within. So I'm so happy for you to see you back out and actually in a setting that is more equipped to who you are, your abilities, your skills, your talents. I'm so happy for you, Leah, and I'm just so buzzing to see where everything goes with podcasting. I can't wait for more music to come and just bring it. Like
same, I need to hear your voice out there. I need your GBX song coming. Like Megan like sings to me in the street. Like after I did her podcast, she's like, "I've wrote a song. Do you want to hear it?" Right. So then we're walking to Central for me to get my train and she's sorry, I don't know the words, but belting in the middle of the street with some amount of confidence. I'm like, wow, like I don't even know, like I mean I probably would sing in the middle of the street. I could because like I know at the end of the day we're all going to be dust one day, so I do things that like it doesn't really matter, but the level of like confidence, and you're always just like running about the streets complimenting people and just like making people's day.
I know sometimes people do look at you though like you've got six heads, like genuinely look at us and I'm like, fuck, can I swear? Sorry.
Yeah.
I'm like, cheer up a wee bit saying that, but see if I was on a bad day and somebody was I give my face. Do you know what I mean?
But it's needed, like we need like to be spreading love and light, because like if we know we have a purpose to do it, who else is going to do it but us? Like it starts with us. Each of us as an individual person matters, and we never know like how we're going to shift someone's day just by giving them a wee compliment.
Absolutely.
Or whatever. Like you said, they might be having a bad day, and if you're going up and being like, oh my god, your hair's amazing, or whatever,
somebody's day. I know, definitely.
You can really like change.
I think for me, like, I don't know, I think I'm awaiting a diagnosis, so I'm not being diagnosed, you know what I mean? But we all know that I'm heavily underdiagnosed anyway, do you know what I mean? Like that's a fact. But I believe that I'm autistic, ADHD,
You're defo ADHD.
somewhere like, pew! And for me, I've always like struggled. I explained to my granny not long ago, maybe about a year ago, and I was like, I feel like I'm a wee lassie stuck in a big lassie's body. Like I've not, like I'm still like a pure wee girl, and I see things, I still get pure childlike excitement, like I can't help it. Like my brother Reese, like I still act like a wee lassie, and he looks at me with just like, I don't know, I can't get it. But I'm happy I'm the way I am. I've fought with my flesh for so long and thought, oh, I need to be this way, I need to be that way. But you know what? I'm 60 multitude of ways. I cannot be fit into a box. And I'm a multi-dimensional being. And I think that's all right. Like, genuinely, I think it's okay for adults to express themselves, skipping down the street, singing, dancing, expressing themselves with their children that way. Like, as adults, we become so closed off that people's hearts get darkened. And when your heart gets darkened, your full centre, your full core's darkened. You don't laugh the same. Like, so I think it's a big, big part of keeping your childhood self alive, and it's important. I think if everybody could help, like, get in touch with that side a wee bit more, there'd be less, I don't know, life the way it's life in the now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's my perfect life. See if I could like win the lottery, I'd gather up who I'd be gathering up, and I'd go and be creating my own wee scheme, and everybody in it'd be like a fucking Disney film.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like, that's my dream.
Everyone with a different coloured house,
like a gypsy film, Disney style, old school. That's like the dream, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But it's not like that, and the real world is harsh, and people are just nasty, and that's like.
But it's like you said, that they're only nasty and projecting because they've
hearts
closed their
are gone.
heart, because they've closed their inner child for whatever reason. Like, a lot of people haven't had a good childhood, and because of their trauma, they feel like they can't express like their inner child, because truly everyone is their inner child. Like, we are still that same wee girl or wee boy that we were like as a kid. Like, and I feel like I know I keep my inner child alive. Like, that's a very conscious part of me, and sometimes like it does feel a bit weird because you look at yourself in the mirror as an adult, but you still feel like a kid. But at the same time, I do feel like an adult, do feel like a woman, because of everything I've went through in life, and we have experience and wisdom. But the fact that we still have that inner child magic, like that's the key to life. Like, that's the key to happiness, because that's where our passions lie. Like, that's who we really are. So, you know, that's why I go to dance class. That's why I have Britney Spears themed parties. Like, that's why, you know what I mean? Like, all the music I still listen to, pretty much the majority of the music I listen to is like early 2000s music from like being a kid. Like, because that makes me happiest. Like, and I feel like a lot of people do close that side themselves off, and they suppress it because they don't understand that they can still express it as an adult.
Absolutely.
Like, you don't have to be all serious all the time.
I think school comes in with this as well, though, and then people's consciousness. Like, some people that are in like a low, like in reality, like in this reality where they need to get a job, they need to get their exam, they need to tell their parents are on their kid. Like, I think for people like that, it's even 10 times harder, because people like us are always going to be in a different state of mind and imagining on another spectrum than which they will ever. It's very black and white for people like that. We've got 60 shades of pink, neons, blues, and whatever else in the zoo. Do you know what I mean? And I don't know, I just think that it's about break the matrix, so to speak. Take the red pill, blue pill. It's about breaking that, and breaking the barriers of consciousness to decide, you know what, I can do whatever the fuck I want. It doesn't matter about getting this, like, obviously in real world, we need to pay bills. We need to have a roof over our head. Like, there's things that are important.
Of course.
But we need to express ourselves. We need to have fun. We need to have experiences.
We need to be happy.
100%.
What's the point of life if you're not happy?
No, I know.
You always see, like, you know, the regrets of the dying always seem to be like the same sorts of things. Like, I'd wish I'd never lived a life that other people wanted me to live. I wish I'd done what makes me happy. Like, those sorts of things. And you really realise what matters. Like, I truly feel like, touch wood, if I died tomorrow, I would be happy because I know I've lived every single day true to myself. Very much, especially since I had my spiritual awakening. But even before that, like, but it was just a bit harder when I was younger because I was trying to get people to like me. I was trying to get people to understand me. But now, like, as an adult, I understand, like, not everyone's meant to only you can really understand yourself. Like, of course your loved ones will understand you to a certain extent, which is a beautiful thing, but only really you fully understand yourself. So that's why it's so important to listen to your own soul, your own intuition, your own passions. And yet we still have to deal with the three-dimensional reality of we have bills to pay and we have to conform to the matrix to some extent. However, like, if you can just do a simple thing of just like intending to have as much fun with each day as possible. Like, not every day's going to be fun. We have to heal. We've got a lot of stuff that comes up. It's a dark world out there. You know, not every day we're going to be feeling amazing, but even on those days, just having more compassion for yourself and doing the necessary self-care to get yourself, you know, your cup filled again. I love you so much.
No, I hear what you're saying, honestly.
I knew our convo would naturally flow. It's so funny, right? So this top that I'm wearing, right? I have saved this for our podcast. It says emotional heart.
Oh, no, that's perfect for me, honestly.
Right? It's perfect for us. Like, I saw it and I was like, I'm wearing that in the podcast to do with Megan. And I've literally been saving it this whole time because I feel like that's so us. Like, we're emotional women, emotional creatures, emotional beings. And yeah, like, how do you feel about your emotions and your sensitivity? Like, what have you learned about it?
I've went through mad shit these past couple of weeks. Like, I'm not joking. Hundreds of stuff's come up for me. I started feeling again. Feeling things I had never felt again, like, in a long time. I'm like,
right.
Honestly, it's been crazy. But what it's sprung up for me, I have, like, what I said a wee bit before, like, fighting with my flesh, thinking the negative things, or wanting to be normal, not wanting to be this quirky, mad, weird way. And I've really found peace with it. If I wasn't as an emotional person, I wouldn't be a loving person.
Right.
I feel everything. So it's like, it doesn't even matter if it's adverts or walking past somebody and like somebody having dinner and sharing a moment, walking past and just witnessing 2 seconds of that can make somebody like me or you be like, oh, do you know what I mean? Never mind watching films or being in, having different experiences, just life in general, do you know what I mean? Relationships and things. I wouldn't change it for a world. No. I really wouldn't change it for the world. And I've had different times where I think, oh, I wish I could just...
Sometimes I wish I was a bitch. Sometimes I wish I didn't feel everything so deeply. I wish, like...
nice people get, like...
It's hard. Like, it really makes you feel everything. Like, it does make life harder, but at the same time, it is a superpower. Like you said, like, sensitivity is a superpower because we can feel so deeply, we can love so deeply, we can create so beautifully, we can see all the different shades and colours of the world. Like, I'd rather that than be closed off and not feel anything at all.
That's scary. That's scary to me. That just terrifies me. Can you imagine having a normal, God forgive me, but like a normal brain? I love my brain. My brain's class. The things I experience.
My brain's class.
It is. Like, I don't mean, I'm like, secretly sometimes I think seriously? I'm a wee bit of a genius. I don't put it out publicly and stuff like that, but I'm a fantastic writer, great poet, a good songwriter, but even more so, if we were in a room and there's like wee bits of music going, even if it was using like different things like that, I could do that and jam away to it and like make a song up from the top of my head. And what I've found is, in the moments when I just let things come naturally and freely, like, I genuinely believe it's the Holy Spirit that moves through me in the moments. And there's words that I wouldn't even put in a sentence that come to my brain and they get pushed out into a song. And it's beautiful. Like, it's all about God, and like it's quite gospelly that I do that. So I don't put that shit anywhere. I don't put that. It's so personal to me. It's so private.
Yeah.
It's so much easier for me to jump about like what you say, like like it's so much easier to be that character, that side of myself, that side of my personality, and show that, as opposed to me being Megan that, like, you know, the other, do you know what I mean? There's a softer side, and do you know what? See, being hurt, that's what keeps me closed off from that. Sometimes the world doesn't deserve our hearts. Like, that's genuinely the way I feel. And I don't know, it's about balancing that. But I don't think there's anything wrong with it. I don't think there's anything wrong with me. And I'm like, I don't know.
Yeah, because the world's not made for it. Like, what I've learned is just that people like us need to have strong boundaries. Like, we need to be like not closed off, protected. Like, we need to protect ourselves and just be more aware of who we're like sharing with, because we're like open books, me and you, and we wear our heart on our sleeve, and we could just like
literally
show love and hugs and everything to everyone. But there's energy vampires out there. There's people that just want to take our light, and it can drain us energetically. So I'll still, you know, give love in a way that's like I'm still protecting myself, my energy, and I'm not, you know, like I'll suss people's energy out as well, and you just know as well. You just like sense it. Yeah.
I recently have had several. They all happened like one after the other, one after the day. All females, all in the space of 3 weeks. It was like God took every leech and dusty bit of rust.
Dusty assholes.
No, like genuinely, it all happened in the same time. So if it wasn't divinely orchestrated, why did it all happen at the same time?
Yeah.
Why was it all females, and why is it all of them are now showing like
Their true colours.
Do you know what I mean?
Where
my brain has always been is like my two best friends, Sophie and Chloe, they've always said to me, you need to stop meeting these people, like stop thinking everybody's your friend, you can't help everybody, like, and I'm like, you just don't get it, like this is a conscious thing, this is so family, like Sophie and Chloe are Sophie and Chloe, but I always say like I'm meeting these people because I'm supposed to, God wants us to meet and all that, like, and so I would not be here without the two girls, like they support me in everything, every wrong thing I've done, every amazing thing I've done, like it's them two that have always been there. Kayla too, but sorry, my brain always goes off. But with what I've found recently is there's a pattern. I've never in my life reached out to somebody on any social media platform and befriended them, ever in my life. I have met people online, and every single one of them have reached out to me. And I've borrowed them money, I've fucking helped with, do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
All sorts of stuff. And I've always been like, in my brain thought, like sisters in Christ, we share similarities in conversations, And all the people that I've ever met online, like they've all vanished, they've all gone, like literally all just before Christmas there. And I think for me now, my learning is, I do not trust anybody. I don't trust a single person anymore. I've got all my day dots. Unlike other people, I've still got all my bestest friends since primary school. I've got high school. I've got all the way up, all the different jobs I've had and stuff like that. I keep in touch with a lot of people. And I don't need anybody else. I don't trust anybody else. I will always be there for people. If like anybody online is needing advice or I'd like a conversation, I will always be there. But that is as far as it goes. Like I will never ever be extending an arm physically out to meet anybody online ever again, because
unless it's a reciprocated thing,
it's
like,
completely it's just not okay. And I'm 29 years old. I don't need any more pals, man. Like I don't even get to see the pals I've got. Do you know what I mean? So it's okay. And I think females are like weird, just weird. Out of the bat, lassies are weird. I never ever wanted to be one myself. Do you know what I mean? I've always quite thought I was in the wrong body, but
really?
I make.
That's a whole other combo.
Could you imagine me being a boy?
No.
If I was a boy, I'd have been I would not have had the problems in life that I've had. Like, I wouldn't have had the complications in life I would have had. Like, having this personality, being the way I was, like growing up, if I was a boy, I would have been adapted to situations better. I wouldn't have been treated the way I've been treated. I wouldn't have been good. Does that make sense? Like, so I've always thought that. But I'm very masculine. I've always been very masculine.
But I feel like you need that as well, because like, especially like because of your kids.
I know.
Because like, you're pretty much a single mum bringing up your kids. They need you to have that masculine side, because my mum like had it with us, like bringing us up. Like, she's got that side of like, don't fuck with me, but she's also very soft and feminine as well. And I think it's necessary, especially for all of us, but especially as a mother, you need to be able to.
My full life, I said I was never going to like be like my mum. I'll never shout at my kids. My weans will never swear. They jump over my heads like they're crazy.
You just let them be themselves.
They're crazy, and it's a wonderful thing. Like, they feel that safe and comfortable and free that my children. They draw on the walls. Obviously, I tell them no to. I give them into trouble, but it's repeated and repeated and repeated, and it's like 4 years later repeated, because they know that they can do it. We are safe. I'm their mammy. Do you know what I mean? And I love being a mum. What I was going to say there is, I never chose the scheme life. The scheme mall life chose me, because I swore, like, I really didn't want to. Like, and when I first became a mum, I was so soft. Like, I was such a good mum. I'm not saying I'm a bad mum. I'm like, when the babies were babies, I was so soft. I spoke like this. I didn't have any time for anything else. I was so in love with my baby. I just was in this wee world for, do you know what I mean? And it gets slowly, my bubble get chipped away and popped. But
it's like we're saying, like, this world, like, it doesn't, like, yeah, you have your wee safe bubble within your own, like, you and your kids, but this world doesn't really allow for that. Like, you had to become like a warrior and have that hard side of you.
God forgive me.
You're so relatable as well. Like, people like really respond to you on TikTok and everything, because you are just being real. You're telling it and showing it like it is. You're not trying to.
TikTok's so crazy. I think it's good though I think it's great for some people. I think there's a lot of people who could look at my TikToks and just be absolutely terrified. But I think at the end of the day, social media is fake. A lot of people, what we see in social media is completely fake. There is more people living behind the scenes how I live my life than people would know. And a lot more than people would like to live on.
Yeah, people don't show all
literally,
the real
do you know what I mean?
stuff.
And I think that's why it's so secretly, like, a lot of mums, a lot of women and stuff like that identify with it, and it's almost like I've had messages, so many, like, I make people feel sane. There's women out there that have wanted to put themselves in, like, section themselves same as like do you know what I mean? And they've no done it. They've like dad went and get the help and because I can't put it into words. Do you know what I mean, Leah? It's like an unspoken understanding between women, between mothers. When you go through it, I think as a woman you always understand it's hard. Like, but see when you change, your brain changes, like your body changes, you're never the same again, and nobody prepares you for that. Like, and I think it's just one of the hardest jobs in the world. And there's women out there, single mums, who get up, get their children ready and go to a 9-to-5 job every day. And I don't know how you say it. I think these are the most amazing people on the planet. I think God is a woman. Like, I just don't believe that women are supported enough, like, physically, emotionally, mentally. I think if this world and society loved women in the way that we really should be, in a soulful level, the world wouldn't be the way it is, and mothers and trauma wouldn't be passed through to generations. Do you know what I mean? It all starts with a woman. And for me, like, when you have every baby starts off as a woman, every single baby, and then I think it's like week 8 the sexes obviously identified, but before that everything's a woman. When you look at the animal kingdom, it's the penguins are away getting the fish, the lions are away getting the meats and stuff. Like, it is a man's world, baby, and we're just living in it. Do you know what I mean? It's hard being a woman. And that's just that. It's hard to be a woman. It's hard to be a mum.
Yeah.
But don't, I think what the biggest thing for me when I was really sick, I was living a fake life. So I was still in a relationship with the girl's dad. I was posting pictures, oh, look at me in my happy life, buying myself gifts and be like, oh, look what I got. Buying the girls every pram, every car seat, every, like, do you know what I mean? Be like, oh, da, da, da. And it was all fucking fake. Off our Facebook.
For the perception of other people?
Literally off. And that, I made myself ill with that because it was like, I don't know, and so many people do it, and if there's women out there that are doing it still right now and can understand what I'm talking about, all I can say is, like, just stop. It's so much more important how you feel in your life as opposed to how it looks. So if that means you becoming a single mother and taking your babies and leaving, then so fucking be it, because I tell you what, you'll be happier. It doesn't happen overnight. It's hard, but it's 10 times easier. Like, it's women who know what I'm talking about will understand what I'm trying to say, you know. But I don't know how to describe it, Leah. I just think, I don't know. I could tather on for ages. I'm starting to think of that, and then I'm going into another thing, and I'm just like, I'll just stop because I could. Anyway,
it's your colourful brain.
I was
That's what I was going to say as well. Like you said, like you sectioned yourself and everything,
and over a dirty toilet. Like, I'm not joking.
You what?
There was a lot of stuff going on. And that's what I was going to
Was it other people that made you feel like you were mental, or you
so
just
the thing is, when you go through psychological abuse with somebody and you think that nothing you do is good enough, like, genuinely, like, it destroys you as a person. And I have two different sides of my families, and I've always been too Molesy for the Bradleys, but I've always been too Bradley for the Moleses. I've never fit in. I've always been the black sheep. We understand why that is. That's okay. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
But I don't know. I just feel like for me now, there's no pretending. There's no point of pretending. If I was to see the realness in my life, like the most happiest moments are not on camera. They'll never be on camera. They'll never be put on a post anymore. Especially after living my life the way I did. Like, it would be so different. Do you know what I mean?
You're just being in the moment now and taking life for what it is. And, like, you're supposed to be the black sheep of your family. Like, you're here to break generational trauma. You're here to heal your not your timeline, you know, your family, your lineage. You're here to heal your lineage so that your daughters can then, do you know what I mean, learn from you and be better women because of you. Like, it has to stop at some point in the cycle, and you're different and you're a blooming weirdo and whatever, because, like, you're supposed to be.
I know.
Otherwise, like, you wouldn't have this connection with God that you have, and with yourself and with your creativity and with your kids. Like, the reason you're able to understand your kids so much is because, I'm calling it a colourful brain, because I honestly, personally, I hate the labels. I think if it helps you, then cool, get diagnosed, get your label or whatever. I think I would have a million labels if I went to see someone, but I know myself and I know how to handle myself and how to handle life. But that's a learned thing. Like, but yeah, like, you know, I have a mum who's ADHD and a partner, and, like, I just get it. But I just think the way the system's set and these labels and these boxes that people are put in, that, you know, as if you're not supposed to be that way, when you're saying, like, you know, you write all these beautiful poems and like, yeah, like, it's just like, you know, people on the spectrum or whatever, like, they just think differently and are more creative and have different gifts. And yeah, like, we each just have our own, we're each a unique being, even though, like, we're all pretty much the same. And yeah, it's becoming more normalised these days to have autism or ADHD or whatever, because I think probably deep down everyone has it, but a lot of people just pretend to be normal or pretend to be a certain way.
I genuinely believe that mental health is a direct correlation with spiritual gifts, literally, but we just don't understand it. So it is fucking mental, because how could you comprehend that? How could you understand? Like, do you know what I mean? I think Marvel, I love Marvel. Doctor
so
Strange
good.
is like one of my favourite films.
So
The amount of information that's in that film is fucking unreal, and it's factual.
Yes, so good.
I just love all that. I think TV. I don't watch TV. I've not watched TV in years and years and years and years and years. Like a TV
like
program.
actual TV channels.
Like I watch films and stuff. I watch documentaries and stuff. But I've not watched like Hollyoaks, EastEnders, all that kind of.
No, absolutely not.
And years and years and years. But I think TV, it's funny that they say it's reality TV. I think that's all fake, and I think that the films are actually real. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I think they like plant a lot of
out.
seeds with things and share a lot of things, but then make it look like, oh, that's just from that movie, and then make people who are having like spiritual awakenings and stuff seem like, oh, like they're going off their head. Like you only see that stuff in the movies. Like that's not even real, but everything's real. Like everything's real. Like,
I think it's undeniable now. I mean, I have been talking about this since about 2014, and I was the laughing stock. Like where I come from, like Paisley, like, everybody knew me for being a mad. Oh, she did do like talks about this, talks about that, and then even more so like talking about TikTok and all that. But I'm not being funny, guys. But Hollywood's burnt. Who's laughing now?
Very much
Who
exposed.
is laughing now? Like I'm not being funny. The destruction that is going on across the earth. It's always been here, but not to this extent. We are very, very close approaching the 7-year tribulation. We are, and Mark of the Beast is coming. Cashless societies, smart cities. Do you know what I mean? Like it actually is happening. It's not a conspiracy. The reason they've got rid of all the banks, there's hardly any banks anymore. Like there's no banks in the wee towns or anything because they're not going to need the buildings in a couple of years. Everything's going digital. They are pulling buildings down, even museums, like the stonemasonry, the history that's in the stonemasonry, the buildings is more than we'll ever get, and they're ripping it all down and building it all with new architecture, and it's all smart. It's all going to look beautiful. That's that, the next thing. Hollywood is massive, and I believe that that's been purposefully done 100%, and it's going to be the first, they're going to rebuild it as the first new smart city, and then everywhere else is going to be following suit over in the next couple of over the next 10 years or so. Do you know what I mean? That is genuinely, I believe, is going to happen. And everything that I've said for the past wee while, it's not happened in the way that I see it, because obviously I'm a bit mental, but there's like, do you know what I mean? There's truth in it. Like there's method in the madness. So I think it's, I don't know, I will need to just wait and see what happens. But I genuinely believe from where I started, like from when we first met each other, the world's changed. Everybody is now starting to like click on, do you know what? There is something going on. Like that the wee meme is like one of my favourite ones. It's that Candy Sones, and she's like, if you are not a conspiracy theory right now, it's because you're not intelligent. Like, I have access to maths, mate, obviously. Like, no, but it actually is, because it takes genuinely just common sense and a wee bit of your heart and soul to be pumping to go, something's not right here.
But the thing is as well, like, so obviously I had my awakening a while ago, and when I first had my awakening, usually like some of the first things that you realise and look into is like the conspiracy theory sort of stuff, and you realise like, oh my god, this stuff actually is happening. Some weird shit, and you do your research and all that kind of stuff. But what I found was that was like, it was lowering my vibration to look into that stuff and to give it my attention, because I just didn't want it to be happening and I wanted to fight it. And this stuff, like, as a reality, it is happening. Like, most of the conspiracy theories you hear about are actually true. The good thing is, like, we have our own free will and we have our own choice whether we want to look into this stuff or whether we want to be ignorant. So if people want to be ignorant, I just let them. Like, I'm not running about preaching anymore. But it definitely is quote unquote end times. But I think that scares people to hear that, and it's very understandable why it would scare people. So I just feel like, even though all this stuff is going on and it's very scary, the opposite of fear is love. And there is an alternative. Like, even though these things are crashing down and there's a lot of evil in the world, while this is happening, there is an awakening happening. There is, there is a lot of good things happening, and that's like, if you do feel overwhelmed,
light is not going to come like heaven on earth is not going to come again until the darkness has been brought to light, and what we're going right through right now,
it needs to be like purged.
Yeah,
it needs to come to the surface, and right now it's come to the surface, so it seems like really scary and like what's going on, because the darkness, like it has to be cleansed, like it has to be released. So yeah, like if it is overwhelming, like don't do anything that lowers your vibration, like I would say, because even though this stuff is happening, the only way we can fight it and the only way we can help it and do anything about it is by focusing on the light, is by focusing on love, is by connecting with our own soul and our own spirit guides and team, and because that's the stuff that's real, and that's the stuff that's always going to stay real and always going to be there when everything in this illusionary world is crumbling. But the crumbling stuff is scary. It is, because people are attached to this reality and this earth and being this being. Like, I can't deal with the thought of death. I hate the thought of not being me anymore.
Honestly?
Like, I hate it, because I love my life. I love being me. I love the people that are in my life. And I'm like, I can't deal. But 7 years ago, I could, and I was like, well, I'm just going back to my star system and everything will be fine.
Yeah.
But I believe I've been like, I'm kind of in the middle of like dimensions, so that I can, because I need to be able to deal with this world. I need to be able to be a bit normal, and like you said, how you are in your TikTok, you're a bit more, what's happening, scheme dreams.
Oh my God.
Instead of like, I mean, you are obviously doing your spiritual stuff as well, but people need the relatable part to be able to get to the deeper part.
And write down in the schemes of, like, inside the houses are people behind the phones, and when the phones are down, that is how people are living their lives. I don't care what anybody says. I don't care what anybody says. There's a massive high percentage of people, do you know, it's just about normalising that and letting people know, do you know what, you literally don't need to wear designer clothes all the time. I'm wearing this recycled outfit. We can buy something and then wear it more than once going out, and to get a picture with it, it's completely normal and okay. I just feel like my way of thinking is really split on it. Like, my wee girls will cry for, say, this morning there was only milk or water, and Aurora wanted apple juice. I didn't have apple juice. I'm going messages later on before I get them from nursery blood. But anyway, so I'm saying to her, and she's screaming, I want apple juice. And I don't have any sympathy for it. I don't feel anything, because see, at the end of the day, she can cry, and she can cry there for 5-10 minutes if she needs to, until she gets it out, and then she can choose if it's water or milk that she wants, do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
because somewhere in the world there's a wee girl the exact same age as my wee lassie, walking from Timbuktu and back for a drink of water, or walking from Gaza to God knows where else right now as we speak. So I'm sorry, pet, it's tough love out here, and I'm old school, darling. I
think that's a lot of what the world is lacking just now. Like, even
and it's all that gentle parenting. Gentle parent doesn't work with scheme wins. I don't care where you are, they're feral. They don't listen. They will take the absolute.
You need a balance. Like, you can't, because they will just walk all over you and expect too much. And I know, and you do see people spoiling their kids, and it's a beautiful thing. Like, you know, you want to give your kids the world. I get it. I don't have a kid, but I do get it. But you're creating a monster, like, if because that's not the reality of the world. Like, when they go out into the world and they realise these things, it's going to hit them like a ton of bricks if they haven't been taught it since being a kid.
And I feel like when I grew up, it was really difficult for me growing up, and I could not imagine growing up in this day and age. Everything's so materialised, you know. And for me, like, I would hate, see if my wee girls ever went to school and picked on like a wee girl that was like me, like need holes in her shoes or something, like, I would leather them. I would take every single thing they've got off them, like obviously age appropriate, like past 16 I would leather them. I would take I'd take their stuff off them, and I'd go, honestly, they'd have nothing. They would have absolutely nothing. And see what I was saying before, like, everything was all show and fancy. Like, I'd be going to kiddie boutique and all that, getting dresses and My kids are in Asda clothes, they're in leggings and they're in t-shirts. It's they go through them, everything gets bogging, and I don't give we're happy. We are so happy. We are so happy that I do not need to go and take a picture and go to, because see, when I was doing that, I was not happy, Leah. I wasn't happy, babe. So I just don't know.
And life's expensive. Like, I think, like, obviously I'm 30 and I'm of age to have kids, and I do think sometimes, like, do I want them or not? And sometimes, so like, I'm kind of split.
You're still so young. Let me just get that out there. You're still so young. And for anybody else, like, your 20s you're full of your 20s are for you. don't have children till you're in your 30s, especially if you've got cognitive, emotional, mental health problems like myself, because if somebody sat me down with a crystal ball, I would have made different, like I would have never had sex. Genuinely.
But sometimes like it's meant to be like...
I love no, genuinely, like my
you know,
life
like sometimes
is
like
the way it's
teens
meant to
have
be.
a kid and you think, oh God, a teen's having a kid. But sometimes it makes them and they become like
I know
who
a
they're supposed
lassie.
to be.
I know a lassie, when we were all growing up back in Johnson, she was 14 years old when she first had her wee lassie. She's an amazing mum.
Yeah.
And
Sometimes
back
people need
then,
it. Like
is,
everything is divine.
everything happens for a reason.
And this is how I feel about kids. I feel my ultimate thing is if God wants me to have kids, then I will. That's my ultimate thing. But then like my realistic thinking is it's really expensive. I'm already just looking after myself and I'm quite selfish and I just don't know if I could be.
You are going to be the best mum in
But
the
on
world.
the other side,
but you have got plenty of time.
yeah, like I would love a mini me and a mini version of my partner. I would love to be an amazing mum. But yeah, like the reality is like it's expensive. God knows if I could have a baby. It's hard enough having my period. and you know, like
Someone
just all the
told
things
me.
that come. But the ultimate thing is like if you're supposed to be a mum and it's divinely supposed to happen, then it will, and it'll happen
Absolutely.
like at whatever age, and the circumstance will be whatever it's meant to be. Like, you know, a lot of young mums are ending up single mums and everything because like, you know, it's a young guy and who doesn't know himself yet and is, you know, just planted the seed in you and then
I think it's
off
became
skate.
so normalised. Like, I mean, all the wee lassies in TikTok, they're like 8 years old and they're standing with their mom going, big minge energy.
Oh gosh.
And I'm like, it's as a society, through music, through television programmes and different things like that, sex has been normalised. Like, we've actually got songs promoting wee lassies to give it raw and all you know, do you know what I mean? Like, it's disgusting. So sex, and we're at the generation, we're at the time of where we're at, it's wild, do you know what I mean? It's dirty and people think it's normal. So I think that is why there's just, do you know what I mean? Constant, and I don't know, I just feel as if it's really changed. Like when I was younger it was bad, but now like it's really even worse. So when these young people are growing up for like on phones for like say age 8, getting into high school at like 12 or whatever, sex to them through the social media or whatever has become so normalised. They don't like the safety of it, it's not like behind it, so they just don't give a fuck and they're just like, do you know what I mean? And I think that's why it's so, because there's a mad thing and it's like online sending and I don't know, I'm not doing with the kids, man, I don't know, but a lot of stuff for like the younger generation, that's like what the problem is, do you know what I mean? So I don't know, I just think we should promote having safe sex, or no, I say it's sex until marriage. Now that I've had that experience and like I think everybody has to go through it, but like what your own journey, what's meant to be for you is for you, and I have changed as a person. I've gained so much. It's literally shaped the course of my life, clearly, obviously. But for me, my thinking, my experience now after going through it, I would just promote to everybody not to have sex, love your body, like your vagina is a gift and you do not dish gifts out left, right and centre, do you know what I mean? It's special, keep it for special moments and special people, and save yourself for marriage, and like don't do what other people are doing. Like if your pals are out wearing mad stuff, wearing contoured, like that, I just think it's crazy. I just wish that we could stay as innocent as we possibly could forever. And I think it's so sad that everything's sexualised. It's just, that is the reality of it. Absolutely everything's sexualised these days. And I would just promote for everybody just not have that lifestyle, because on social media and things, it is normal. Like the baddies of the East and the South, it's like shagging on TV, Geordie Shore and all that. Start like it's a
sacred act.
It's the most sacred thing you could do ever. Like, so it's been obviously a long time. I'm not pure going to it or whatever. This was years ago. Can you cut bits out? Like beep it?
Yeah. What? Right.
Right. So it was with him,
Uh-huh.
and I'd never, we had sex, and I went, I actually jump off him. Like, it was that fucking wild, and I was going through it, and then I ended up having to learn about Kundalini, and that was what it was, and it was the first time I'd ever experienced it, and that shit was mental, like absolutely crazy, and I could hear like it was a bit, I don't know how to describe it, but I'm not going to like full talk about it, but it's so sacred.
Yeah,
if people realised
like,
how much
it's life force energy,
on.
it's creative energy, it's spiritual energy, and we all have it, and we can't suppress it. We have to embrace it. You know, I think when people are young, obviously, like, they're coming to a point where then the hormones are all coming in, and they're becoming a teenager and everything, and they don't know what to do with their sexual energy. They think they need to go and have sex with boys or whatever, and like, channel it into something creative.
Singing, dancing.
Yourself. Like, I was always very like, I've always just seen it as like a special sacred thing, and when I was a kid I wanted to save it for marriage, but being so real, like, I don't think it's realistic. Like, it doesn't always work out like that. Like, you know, you'll meet someone, you like them, and it just happens. And but you know, to this day, like, it's a sacred act. And the older I've got, the more I've realised that even more so, because there was a period of my life where I thought, well, this is just such a normal thing, and people go out to Magaluf and just have one night stands and stuff.
I don't know how my cousins do it. I don't. Sometimes I'm like at you, so I think they're all after nut. I love them. I don't judge them. Go have fun, day your life. Do you know what I mean? Never. But for me, I'm like, you still know what you are.
Your path is your path.
Don't realise how special you are. Basically, that is what it is. Because like, these men are no words.
But I'm glad that you had sex when you did, because your wee girls are beautiful.
I know,
and they're supposed to be here, and
they definitely are. Like, honestly, they've been here before. We've been together before.
Yeah,
100%.
And you were supposed to be their mum and teach them everything that they're, you know, supposed to know and be themselves. Like, they're just two wee magical little goddesses in the making.
I know they are.
It, like, your path has led to that for you. Like, that's a big part of your purpose.
My wee girls are going to be better than I've ever, even 10% than I've ever got to be in this world, and I can't wait to, do you know what I mean? Well, I can, very slowly. Like, Aurora starts school this year and stuff like that, and I know my babies. I know and see them, and I see their spiritual things. I don't ever speak about it or whatever. Like, I see my babies, and they are soul twins. I swear to God. Like, I don't think that they could have. Ariella couldn't do what she's going to do in this life without Aurora, and Aurora couldn't do what she's going to do in this life. I feel a bit emotional without Ariella, and I'm not going to be here. Do you know what I mean? And I know that they two are going to be a force of fucking nature, like a force to be reckoned with their full life. And I'm just so grateful for my babies. And the clock and the wheel and everything happens in divine timing. Everything is perfectly orchestrated. And I don't know, I'm just happy.
Yeah, no, like, honestly, like, you're doing a great job. Like, you don't, whatever it's coming from, that you're like, oh, I'm this, and I'm like, you're not these things. You're not a nutter. You're not.
I'm making peace with it. Do you know that?
You should be, because you're like, yeah, you're a bit wackadoo or whatever you want to say, but like, that's a beautiful thing. That's like, if everyone was normal, it'd be boring.
How shite would the world be?
And I bet you wouldn't have 38,000 followers on TikTok. You'd have like 2 if you were boring. So
that's because the Leverndale video, though, I would never have posted that. I never posted that on my Facebook or my Instagram, because that's where everything was. Excuse me. But it was so I was trying to tell people, man, that I posted TikTok, and obviously it went viral. But it was so funny. Like, I had a great experience in Leverndale. I actually did. Like, God was with me the full time. Like, I remember there was a deer. I was outside I wasn't allowed to run and I wasn't allowed to do fast exercising in case I got all the wee mad nutters all gone and all that. No, I'm not joking. So there was like an outside court and the doctors and the nurses. See, because I had so much energy, like I'd need to walk.
But
or
was
do a
there not
couple
other
press
people
ups.
in there that are
I
like
got different rooms and
buzzing?
stuff. No as buzzing as me, and there was older people, so I was in a vulnerable person's unit. There was like maybe 3 other young people. I'm not young anymore. There was 3 other people, maybe like the same age as me, like mid-20s, 30s or whatever, and then it was like 50s, like 60s. So there was like a mix of people, and because there was like heavy vulnerable adults, like there was one guy that he would rock, and there was heavy sick people in there, do you know what I mean, mate? So they'd said to me like, you can do this, you can do that, but do it at this wee bit of the outside area. So that was fine. I was doing it one day and I was praying, I was crying, I was singing, and then I just opened my eyes, like I had my eyes closed the full time, and there was a bee. I'm like, different a wee bee. And I done that and I followed the bee, and there was like a forest and there was a deer looking at me at the fucking forest, mate. And I swear to God that they say it like it, as I've seen it, it flew away. And I heard like there was windows open in like everybody's bedrooms. You can hear through the windows. You can't actually open the windows, so you slide the window open and it's like a breathy, I don't know how to describe it, like, see like that, like the box, like you can breathe through it, and then you just open and close the window. That's how you get fresh air in the rooms.
Like a thatched sort
Yeah,
of.
yeah, because you can't obviously, because they would escape or something. So sorry for, I'm terrible at explaining things. Anyway, so I could hear, and at the exact same time the deers went away, somebody's went, Graham! And my dad's called Graham and he's dead. And when I was in conversation, that's who I was talking to, and the deer and the bee and da-da-da. And that was like, I can't describe to you, that was like a bit crazy. It was over emotional for me. As soon as it happened, it brought up a lot of tears or whatever. There was a lovely woman in it, and like, this is how God works. Like, it was maybe like day 3 I'd been in, and the lady had not brushed her hair or anything, and every single day her husband was coming to see her, and she was just so lovely, and she was just so sweet and timid and shy and whatever else. And I'd bring my straighteners and that way with my fake tan and all that. So I was like, do you want me to do your hair for like, and I offered to do her hair, and she was like, yes please, that'd be lovely. I've not had my hair done in months. She'd been in for months. She was in for an eating disorder, skinnier than me, God love her. And basically our wee hair and all that was all, so I straightened her hair and I fingered her, and then she went to her visit with her husband, and we were all sitting in the lobby having a cup of tea and all that, and she came back out and she was nearly skipping down the hall here. She was like a whole new other woman. She was up here hanging, and so she'd said to me, she went straight to her room or whatever, but later on or the next day or something, she came and she said to me like, thank you so much, like could you do that for me again, like could you? So I started doing her hair it was like every afternoon after lunch I would do her hair, and her husband would come about 4 o'clock in the day or whatever. God forgive me, I'm pure remembering the mad routine. And it was like the second last day. So the night before, like the day before I left, she came to me with this book, and it's a big red book, and she's got a pen, and she's signing it to Megan, love from Jane, and she gives me the book, and I'm like, oh, what's that? And she's like, that's my book. And I was like, what? Now, I had spoke with this woman, shared her stories about like scheme dreams. She'd shared stories with me, our children, our eating disorders and things like that, whatever else. And she was like, no, that's my book. She's like, I'm a publicist. She'd interviewed 50 Cent, Dolly Parton, Bear Grylls, literally, mate. She was famous. Her husband's famous and all that. I don't obviously want to, I'll tell you off camera, because then I don't know if she's still in there or whatever, but so that was crazy for me. And the book, like, I was meant to meet that woman. I was meant to experience that. All the information that was in the books was crazy. And that night I opened the book, and I like to like just flick and open, right? So I usually do that, and I've went...
Yeah, like divinely show me what page I'm supposed to see.
Now, when I was a wee girl, I can't remember, it was like a woman in America she'd interviewed, and it's like her story, and the first sentence is, as a child, all I would sing is You Are My Sunshine. And that was my... like, that was my song as a child. And this girl, like, she went on to describe what she did in her life after she sang. She was an actress as well, and she did lots of stuff for the community. And it was like a wee, I got in America somewhere, I don't know, I can't remember who the person was, but I remember that story. And I read it and I was like, I was meant to get that book because I'm going to do that one day. I'm going to do that. I'm going to, like...
See, these are the things, like, you notice when you've had a spiritual awakening, like, everything is divine.
Connected.
Like, your path is leading to where you're supposed to be, because you're probably in this place going, why am I here? Or, like, do you know what I mean? Even if you've checked yourself and it's still, like, you think it's a situation that's, like, what does this mean? Like, why am I here? And you see the little signs, like, and just you putting out a bit of kindness and being like, do you want me to do your hair for you? Like I was saying in the beginning, like when you give someone compliments and you do little things to make their day, and then you see the little magical synchronicities of it and what it leads to, and then the messages that you get from it, and it's all just so, it's so beautiful, this human experience. That's why I'm so blooming attached to it. Like I
can't wait to, like, I'm all good. I'm not, like, I have fantasized about death since I was a child.
Really?
Aye.
So you're not scared?
No. And what I experience and all that, like, I cannot wait to go home, like, genuinely. This is, it's beautiful. I'm so happy to experience this and be here, and especially living in these times. Do you know what I mean? It's cool as fuck.
Yeah, we definitely signed up to be here during these times. Like,
but I'm just like, I'll be happy. We're just and it will be in like 20, 30 years or whatever, just but just whenever know that when I go, I'm happy, mate. Like, the sky will turn pink for my return, like, genuinely. I don't fear death at all.
Yeah, because we know that the soul and the spirit are eternal, and we have that connection with our soul and with beings and guides that are on the other side, that are in another dimension, that are in spirit world. Like, I just love being this human though, and I love my man,
I know,
my sister and my mum, and I just love being a human. Like, I really love it, even though sometimes it's really hard and I'm like, fuck this planet, and at the same time I'm like, I am so glad I am having, like, this is a blessing. And I think, like, yeah, like, even though things in life are hard, like, it is important to always remember your blessings and have gratitude for all the small things, the simple things, the little bits of magic. But I love you so much.
I love you so much.
I'm so grateful for you being you, and never let anything or anyone make you feel like you're not the way you're supposed to be or anything like that. Like, you're a blessing to this world and to the people that get to meet you and connect with you
so much,
and know you for who you are.
I'm so grateful that God gave me you and put us in each other's paths, like, genuinely. And I feel like you having the connection of you, there's like, just see watching you or different conversations and having you, I can't put it into words. You helped me remember. That's all I can say. Does that make sense?
We're all reflections.
And I'm so grateful for you. I love you so much. I'm so grateful for you and your wee ma and your. I know I've not met your sister yet, but like,
my mum's always like, I always feel like I've known Megan for years and I've met her, and she's literally never met her. It's so funny, but you will meet, obviously.
I know, I'm going to see the horses. I'm buzzing for that, by the way.
Oh yeah, you're going to go see the horses.
I'm buzzing.
And have
I'm
the
so
animal
excited.
therapy, and yeah, we're all on this journey together, holding each other's hands, taking each other home, and helping this planet while we're here in every little way that we can. So just thank you for having the courage to be yourself and
you too.
Speak from your chest and be imagine and do you, like, because it's not easy. Like, you could easily just be like hiding away and suppressing yourself, and yeah, like it takes a lot to be brave enough to just be like, I'm here and deal with it, and whoever vibes me, and whoever doesn't, because we are all going to be dust one day, and there's no point in being anything but ourselves. So
Amen.
We should end with that.
Well,
and
I am so happy.
I'll definitely get you back, obviously.
Oh, well, wait till after the show and stuff like that.
Yes.
So
Megan's going to be at, do you want to tell the people where you're going to be?
Well, oh my God, no. Well, no.
You've been promoting it.
I know.
What? I don't know. You're here. Plug yourself.
Right, okay.
My God, woman.
We're doing a Scheme Dreams Live podcast, okay? Except it's going to be quite of a, instead of a podcast, I would say loose women, Scottish Glasgow, loose women sort of vibe.
So wait, this is at the
takeaway.
What a girl wants.
What a girl wants experience.
And when is this?
Right, okay, right, we there. Start again, because that like
Come on, woman.
If I put
What's
that
the
in
event?
Justin will actually like be like, what? Right, okay. So after on the Saturday the 31st of May, we've got What a Girl Wants experience. So there's like Capella, Little Mix Band, Xander Nation, myself, and then there's like loads and loads of different beauty stalls. So it's from hair, beauty, bridal and things like that. There's different clothing stalls and things like that. It's going to be there. They are invited me along to do like a live podcast. So I've got 40 minutes on, it's at Hamilton Park Racecourse, and there's going to be like a massive outdoor arena about like outside.
Nice.
So like a big stage, and then seating for around 3,000 people.
Is there still tickets left? For
There's
people? So people can come along.
Yeah, and it's going to be amazing. I'm really thinking about it, and I'm not wanting to speak about what I've got planned for it.
No,
because
don't speak about what you got your plan.
So
just
epic for people. Like people think I'm so stupid and don't know what I'm doing, and like people are going to come and be like, "What the?" Honestly, are you prepared to be amazed? Entertained? Do you know what I mean? Like it's going to be
it's
so
time
good.
for you to shine, girl.
I'm so excited, and obviously you'll be there, so I'll see you there. But thank you so much for having me again. So happy to see you here. You just belong. Do you know what I mean? And I cannot wait to just see where everything goes for you.
Yes,
Keep them coming.
We out here doing our thing. Much love, everyone. Thank you for tuning in, and I'll see you in 2 weeks' time for the next episode. Take care.